She had another great fourth quarter. They came back to win. So here's what's interesting. Diana Taurasi is injured, and it may open the door for Caitlin Clark to make the Olympic team. And women's basketball just didn't quite know how to handle Caitlin Clark. It reminds me a little bit when Taylor Swift, the singer, became a billionaire with the Eras Tour. And like the management team and Ticketmaster had to apologize. Like in 10 minutes, they couldn't supply enough tickets. It was just, they were completely overwhelmed. And I think that's what women's basketball was with Caitlin Clark. I mean, they knew a year out she could be the number one pick. They give her the toughest schedule, early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst team. So she comes in, they start 1-8. They put nothing but quality veteran teams that had been in the playoffs. Terrible start. And then the league has to scramble because she's selling jerseys and merch like crazy. They've got to switch venues in L.A. They went from the Pyramid in Long Beach to Crypto. And the league got, this is what happens sometimes with soccer fans. They feel ignored and WA fans feel ignored. So they get very precious, very tribal, very insular. She's not going to make the USA women's basketball Olympic team. And you're like, are you crazy? Go look at the men's team. It's political. Jaylen Brown's not on it because Nike doesn't want him on it. Kyrie Irving's not on it because Nike didn't want him on it. You're not going to put Caitlin Clark, your Taylor Swift on the team. Well, she sells out her all-star jersey in 17 minutes. I'm still not sure women's basketball quite has their feet under them. They're doing a Ticketmaster. They're bailing water. She's exploding as a player. She leads the WNBA in assists. She's third in three-pointers made. Indiana's won 8 of 12. Yesterday's a prime example where she is in the fourth quarter, best player on the floor, had a choppy first half but had 10 points. But you're not going to hear anybody pick on women's basketball as a unit. There's a lot of sycophants in the media. They feel like the sport's been ignored, so they're part of the brigade to support it, and that's fine. But let's be honest about it. The sport made a terrible decision on the Olympic team. The scheduling early, even though they knew she was coming out and probably going to be a number one pick a year earlier, about the time they were making schedules, was ridiculous. And now Indiana's on fire. Caitlin Clark's like a 17, 8, and 6 player. She's getting better by the week. She says the right stuff at the podium. There's nothing about her you don't like. And it's like, now you made a big mistake the first time not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb. Get her on the team. Give us a reason to watch the Olympic women's team. You guys win gold every year. Your competition's weak. You win it every year. Give us a reason. Quadruple your television ratings with her. Promoting not only the other women on the team that could get endorsements, but promoting your sport. There's a reason that top movie stars and top athletes use the same 4 or 5 agents, because they can handle it. They don't get overwhelmed. Women's basketball has felt overwhelmed here. You got your Conor McGregor. Your baseball, you got your Bryce Harper. You got your Messi in the MLS. You put him on TV. The whole salary cap in the MLS. It's funny. They got Messi into the MLS. The guy makes more than some of the teams. They figured out a way to get him into the MLS. They weren't precious and rigid. And so, listen, in basketball terms, this is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk. If you can get her on the Olympic team, you missed the first time, do it the second time. You're doing yourself a favor. Don't get in the way of yourself. Don't jump over a $20 bill to get to a 5, as they say. You screwed up the first time. Don't screw up again. Get her on the Olympic team. Diana Taurasi, by the way, has been a huge, ardent supporter of Caitlin Clark. She wouldn't mind it. All right, so I saw this. NFL executives, NFL coaches, NFL scouts ranked the top 10 quarterbacks going into this league. By and large, I not only agree with the list, but I mostly agree with the order. Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, Allen 3, Lamar 4, Matt Stafford 5, Justin Herbert 6, C.J. Stroud 7. Cross your fingers on health. Aaron Rodgers 8, Jared Goff 9, Dak Prescott 10. 9 of 10 I agree with. I would not have Dak Prescott in the top 10. This feels like fear. People around the NFL, they're fearful of the regression you may see with Jordan Love. I'd love to see another 4 or 5 games. Jordan Love is better than Dak. You did watch a 27-0 lead in Dallas with a much younger team, full of guys 1 and 2 years out of college. He's more fluid. He's got a better whip as an arm. He moves better, fewer injuries. I mean, it wasn't close. Dak in that game looked anxious. He looked overwhelmed. He wasn't very accurate. He missed open receivers. You can't watch that game and tell me Dak is more talented, raw talent, than Jordan Love. And Jordan Love has better coaching, and he's got better arsenal of weapons at tight end and wide receiver. Jordan Love's going to be better than Dak Prescott. Folks, how long do you have to see something? How long do you have to watch a movie before you're like, this stinks? I always think that when I watch movies. If you can't get the first 12 to 15 minutes right, I'm out. That's all I give a Netflix or an Amazon Prime show. I'm going to give you 8 to 12 minutes. That's your shot to get me. If you watch a Narcos, if you watch Mindhunter, you can tell from the writing 10 minutes in, this is a good series. If you can't get me in the first 8, what's the middle of it going to look like? What's the ending going to look like? How many years do you have to see Dak be really great in the regular season against bad teams in his division? He doesn't beat good teams, because against good teams, you have to be better and more precise and elevate teammates. If you go look at last year's final 10 starts, including the playoffs, Jordan Love was outstanding. 3rd in the entire league in completion percentage. 1st in touchdown interception ratio. That's with kids at wide receiver and tight end. Kids and a young O-line. 1st in passer rating. 2,600 yards. I think this is fear about, well, he could go backwards. I trust the Packers on quarterbacks. Here's the other thing. Think about the quarterbacks. You tend to think, well, it takes a while. If you look at the star quarterbacks, you can go to the first camp of Mahomes, and video was leaking out of some of his sidearm stuff. Remember week 11, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert's first game, C.J. Stroud's first game, Joe Burrow's first half, Kyler Murray's first 4 or 5 games. You can spot talent early. I say this on all these music shows, The Voice, America's Got Talent. How long does it take you to go, oh, wow, that doesn't sound like everybody else? 8 seconds? You don't have to watch that much quarterback play. Now, Jordan Love sat for years. I said this forever. I had more footage of Bigfoot his first 3 years in Green Bay. You didn't even get practice footage. So I had no idea, and I thought he had a terrible September. But by late October, you're like, there's something there. And by November, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, that's a first-round quarterback. So if you're watching Jordan Love in Dallas last year and you're watching Dak, it wasn't even particularly close. More raw ability, more fluid, better whip, better movement. Not putting him in a top 10 right now is fear-based. And I think if you really are honest with C.J. Stroud and Burrow and Mahomes and Lamar, even Josh Allen was a little choppy early because of the turnovers. His talent was completely unmistakable. You could not watch Lamar or Josh Allen early, first couple of starts, and not go, wow. But these people waiting for Daniel Jones to pop. Folks, it's over. It's over. It doesn't work. That's why when you're watching Hard Knocks on HBO Max with the Giants, they wanted to move up and get Drake May. It's over. You don't have to watch a movie for an hour and a half to figure out if it's any good. All right, Diana Rossini is joining us next hour. Derek Jeter's on the show today as well. J-Mac was over there in Amsterdam and London with the fam, and those are Amsterdam. My wife's been there. I have not. We're going to go there in the next 9